Say it ain't true, man.
Where'd you find this?
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is PHAT'S Barbershop Club.
Brought to you by Phat's Fresh Cuts. It's more than a barbershop.
And here's your host, Ladarius Fat Man.
All eyes on me.
Daddy's working.
What's up, Rustin? What's up, everybody? It is PHAT'S Barbershop Club. Real topics, real views from real people. You know what that sound is? Hey, and we all ready, man. We all ready.
What's up, Rustin? It's Football Friday.
Y'all, I have in the building with me today, Mr. Jeff Williams.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about this Rustin High Neville, beat Neville week. We're going to talk about just the community of Rustin. We're going to talk about it all, man.
We'll chop it up.
Whatever it is you want to talk about, we're going to talk about it. And we're just gonna
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, man, appreciate you having me here, man. And as we were talking about before we came on the air, man, I'm proud of the work that you're doing, the platform that you create, not just for yourself, but for other people in the community, man, to have a place to come and express themselves, let their voices be heard, man. So shout out to you for that, man.
Thank you.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, man, before we get into it, let me say, club members, if you're watching us live, share this video, man, and drop what emoji you want to do. Football emoji today. We're going to do a football emoji. Share this live, drop a football emoji if you're watching us live, and then if you're watching us on replay, hashtag replay. Thank you. Yeah, hey, we're going to do, oh, man, beat Neville week. We're going to say, first off, let's talk about the crowd, man.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, man, I heard that tonight is supposed to be white out.
Red out.
It's red out.
I just saw it.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, whatever that color is.
Yeah.
I need y'all to get in it. You know, this Rustin, so you should have some red and white somewhere in your closet. But yeah, man, we need to get out there. We need to pack that stadium, man. One of the things that I want to make perfectly clear for anybody who might not have seen this year's version of the Rustin Bearcats, man, may not follow them like you and I follow them. Listen, man, we have a legit title contender in the city of Rustin this year. I'm going to say that again. We are currently ranked number 3 in the power rankings for 5A football in the state of Louisiana, man. And I want to put into perspective exactly how serious that number 3 ranking is. We talking about a Rustin Bearcat team this year, man, who has played 4 straight teams that played in state championships last year. Yeah. And still, they are 3-1, and they are the number 3 ranked team in the state. So I don't know what we're waiting on, man.
They could easily be 4-0, right?
They could easily be 4-0. I mean, they dropped an overtime game to a Warren Easton team who has been in several state championship games over the past decade, man, and just, one got away from us, but went into the fourth quarter up, 2 scores. Could easily be sitting 4-0 with that schedule, but the bottom line, like I said, man, we are 3-0. We're 3-1, number 3 team in the state, playing another. You already heard it, man. It's Neville tonight. I really don't have to say nothing else. It's Neville. We don't even have to talk about records. We don't have to talk about what the rankings are. But if you need that, Neville is also currently ranked, I think, number 6 in their division as well. And a lot of people may not know it, man, but the playoff formats and everything have changed in the state of Louisiana.
We will actually play them.
So they will actually be in our bracket of the playoffs this year. That's kind of a combination of 4 and 5A together this year. So man, I told the team when I spoke to them on yesterday that, hey, this might be the first of a couple of times we have to do this year, man. But I'm looking forward to the Bearcats showing up, man, and putting on an outstanding performance tonight. And we need the entire community in the building to witness it, man. We don't have time to wait around for a West Monroe game. Man, we playing top 10 matchups every single week right now. We got a very, very good football team that we putting on the field, and they need your support.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, man, let's pack the house. Y'all get out, support those Bearcats, man. Those kids need it. I guarantee you. I've talked to these kids personally, and they really, really enjoy the support from the fans.
Absolutely.
Man. And I've talked to a couple of them as far as last year's game with the crowd participation for West Monroe, right?
Right.
And they say it's not an excuse, but it was also something new.
And they're telling the truth. Yeah. And I mean, us as adults, a lot of times, when we're dealing with youth and we think that they're in error or they got flaws, we don't mind telling them and checking them. I'm telling the Rustin community it was different. Man, I was with them earlier that week. I tried to verbally prepare them for what was coming, but there is no verbal preparation for what happened in the West Monroe game week last week. Yeah. And the truth is, that's the way it should be every week. Yeah. But it was new to these kids, unlike us when we grew up, even watching the Michael Brooks and all of these guys, the 82 team and 84 and 86, we kind of grew up seeing that environment. So by the time we got to Ruston High and we actually played in it, we had been dreaming about playing in that the whole time because that's what we always saw. Yeah. These kids had been decades removed from that, man. And so everything changed that night. I mean, you had senior night going on, so you had people going out and them and their families walking the field. You had the cat box all brought pots and pans, and they would be, and I loved it, but it was just new, and I knew we were kind of in trouble, man. I was on the sideline, man, and I had told them, like, when y'all go suit up and come back out, it's gonna be crazy out there, whatever. But they came back out, and I saw a couple of them looking up in the stand, and I was like, I seen that look before, and I was hoping that they could snap out of it quickly. But, it comes with experience. But we got that behind our back now, man. Playing all these big games we played in already this year, we're not dealing with that anymore. This team is experienced. They big game prepared, big game ready, and they just need the crowd to come out and be there and witness it, man. Y'all, you can't give up on the Ruston Bearcat team because y'all showed up one time and they had a bad night. Yeah. This is Ruston, man. We family. It's all love. So even in our darkest moments, we're supposed to have each other back, support each other, and that's what I need to see this community do tonight, man.
Even as a people, we don't want people to turn their backs on us.
Absolutely.
After the first mistake or that one mistake. You know
Absolutely.
What I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
With these kids, they go out each and every day preparing to win a game, so Absolutely. we gotta go out and support these kids.
Absolutely. And they are preparing, man. I mean, a lot of people have asked me kind of about my role with the team, and that's what I'm there for, man. And shout out to Coach Ball and his staff, man. Let's just be real about it. They've taken a lot of heat.
Hey,
we're gonna go ahead and be real about it. And I talked to them about the heat, you know what I'm saying? So it's no secret. When I came and met with Coach Ball last year to talk about getting involved with working with the team, we put a lot of that on the table. And I was forthcoming with him, and I was like, man, it's a lot of stuff that if we're gonna get back to that level, it's just a certain way things have to be done on that level. And we all, from coaches to players, all of us are going to have to get that mental transformation to get us back to that level. But I want to shout out to Coach Ball and his staff, man, because this is what I can say to the Ruston community. And I can speak from my own experience, personal, with them being in the building. It's not hearsay what somebody else came and told me. Right. This is my own personal experience with them, man. Everything that I have gone to Coach Ball and his coaching staff and interjected and said, we need to do this, or I think we need to take a look at this, man. They have embraced every single thing and implemented every single thing that we've talked about. So they're doing what they need to do, bro. That coaching staff is a competent staff. There is a lot of stuff in the packaging and how they're trying to present it, game planning that they're new staff together too, so they're working through it. But they're doing, man, everything that they can possibly do. Yeah. And I think it's time for us to put whatever some of those past things was. Mm-hmm. This is the coaching staff that we have in our Ruston family right now. I need us to get behind them and support.
And it's working.
Yeah, man. If you have eyes, you should be able to see that things are different. How things are working, man. You should be able to see the difference, and it's because of the work that they're doing. And so it's like I said, it's just time to give credit where credit is due, man, and let it be known that they're doing a wonderful job. And let's get out and support these brothers, man.
We talked about the coaching, man. Let's speak on this defense that Ruston High's got.
Oh man.
From the defensive line to the linebackers, and as positive as I can possibly say it, to the secondary who shows weakness in the early part of the game and prevails in the end. You know, like that defense is something nice.
Defense is something special, man. And for those of us who really know the game, we know that as long as we playing defense at the level that we playing, we're gonna win a lot more than we're gonna lose. That's kind of what, I talked to Coach Ball the Saturday morning after the Warren Easton loss, and that was what I told him, Coach. It was a championship effort, and what I will say, we came out short, but with that type of effort, we're going to win more than we lose. It's a phenomenal group, man, and what I want people to know is still a fairly young group, bro. They're not going to lose a lot off of their defense this year, but they knew coming in, man. And again, shout out to the coaching staff, man. You have a young man like Bro, who was playing tight end last year, who's been transferred over to the defensive end. Christian moved inside. That coaches have to see that and make those adjustments. You got to make those adjustments. You know what I'm saying? They made those adjustments, man. Gidria, who was already a sophomore starter last year there, whatever, man. These guys, man, our linebackers, I will put them with anybody's anywhere, any division. They're amazing. And to be honest with you, man, we know what Jaden Mayfield brings to the table. And some coaches came to me last year and said, hey, man, we got another one that's a freshman that's coming behind him that we think has an opportunity to even surpass him before he leaves. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't feel it. I was like, I don't see it, but watching Zerg Hill work, 21. Oh, yeah, man. Amazing, man. And this is what I'll say about the secondary, man. The secondary is growing up every week. Mm-hmm. And so my thing is always, they have given up some big plays here and there. But Coach Kenny Wright, man, shout out to K. Wright, who was a former Bearcat, former NFL player, man, younger brother of mine. He has them as technically sound as a group can be. And so you see them, really, you've seen some young kid mistakes where they just lose focus at times. Yep. But they are battling, man, and they are getting better every week. And I'm looking forward to seeing week 10 and beyond where they're at that point, man.
And not just because of the opponent, y'all. We're talking about the progression.
No, we're talking about the growth and development of the Ruston High School team, because when I go and speak with them, man, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. We're talking about us. Right. I don't really care who the opponent is, man. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. If we want this thing to be back the way that it was in the 80s, the 90s, a key ingredient to that was
not caring who
we don't care who the opponent is, man. We don't care if it's home or away. We don't care who else they beat last week. And the main thing I've tried to instill into these kids now is you are Ruston High School, man. Yeah. And so in the Louisiana landscape of football, that means you are the creme de la creme. You're not second to anybody. Right. This program is not second to anybody. We don't bow down to anybody. We don't kiss other people's rings. We are at the top of that discussion. And so we've talked about that. They had to get that in their minds and believe that. Now what you're starting to see is their work is starting to manifest and catch up with the mindset. But we had to change that mindset first. And man, I'm telling you all, we've done it. And you can see that it's really, really working, going in the right direction.
All right, well, let's take this one quick break, man. I got to do some sponsors, and we're going to get right back to it.
Yes, sir.
Here we are. We have Cleveland Lawn Care, 318-245-9626. If you need your lawn taken care of, Cleveland Lawn Care is the service that you need. They will take care of you. And we are back. So, back to the progression that I think we did cover the defense a little.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
We're talking about Jaden Mayfield and Hill and Jordan Gidria. Man, that whole crew is just impeccable.
Yeah.
The offensive line, some has said, is not as strong as it has been.
Right. Well, you understand, man, you lose 3 kids up there from last year, 2 of which are playing on D1 teams right now.
Right.
That's sometimes people in the outside world don't understand. That's not easy to replace.
Exactly.
First and foremost. But again, man, I came in before the season started and I was told up front, again, nothing is really being withheld in the building, man. I was told up front, we got some concerns about the O-line. That we're going to have to work out, and what I asked was, I said, well, is it a lack of talent or is it a lack of experience? You know what I'm saying? I said, because it is a difference, because if it's a lack of talent, then we're really in trouble. But if you tell me that the talent is there, but they lack the games played, then that's fine. That means as long as they being coached up, they're going to get better as the weeks come, and we're going to be okay in crunch time when we really need to be okay. And I was assured that it was an experience thing. Just a lot of kids up there that hadn't played a lot of football. But I think we saw in the second half down in Lafayette last week, they are starting to come together. And they're starting to figure it out. And like I said, man, we still got to play every game, every week. We can't look over anybody. But I love the position that the Ruston Bearcats are in right now, because as well as they have played,
Haven't gotten 4 quarters.
We have not played a full 4-quarter game yet.
Yeah.
And so I think the best is still yet to come. And given what they've already done, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
It is. It's really exciting. Let's see. We got a comment to come in. Okay, no, never mind. What class you graduated in?
Graduated 1991, was on the national championship 1919, 88 team was my sophomore year. Missed my entire sophomore season, man. I tore all 3 ligaments in my knee. Opening week of the season, missed that entire season, man, but was there as a sophomore in 88. Played in that classic in 89 where we lost in triple overtime to Brother Martin in the semifinals, man, and then came back and won a state championship and a national championship in 90, man.
So, okay. Losing that game, Brother Martin, because it's one of the highly talked about loss
Absolutely.
that Ruston has had.
Absolutely.
No matter what year you play, you've heard about that loss.
Absolutely.
The transition from the 89 year into the 90 year being the best team, like, what was that? I know Chick Childress put it on y'all hard in the summer, but what was that like just playing with those guys?
Well, playing with those guys was what I'm trying to instill in the current Bearcats.
Okay.
Those guys were really my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can just call each other family, or I just say this is my teammate. Like, those are my real brothers, man. I went a couple years ago to Northwestern State and spoke with Coach Brad Laird there, and that's how he opened introducing me to his team. Yeah. This is my brother. 30 years later, This is my brother. But man, it was amazing generational talent assembled in one place, man. And as good as the 90 team was, man, there were a lot of other things that we practiced and we were prepared to do that because we were winning in the way we were. A lot of people never really got a chance to even see what we really could do. Like, there were people who were on defense who really were offensive players that you never even really got a chance to see play off. It was a lot of moving components, and that's why when you have those conversations about is the 1990 team the best ever, not just even in the state of Louisiana, but some people say the best high school team they've ever seen. What I say is, with the amount of depth that we had and talent on that team and the different things that we could do that we had not even done yet, what I will say is it would have been very difficult for any other high school team to deal with all that pressure at that time. I mean, you're talking about a team, man, who from my graduating class and then the junior class that played a lot along with us the next year. I mean, you're talking about almost 30 kids off of one team that ended up either getting a scholarship or walking on and making a college football team off one year's team. And so, man, it was a special, special thing. But just like I said, as close as we were bonded on the field, man, we went to church together. We went to summer camp together. We played baseball together at the complex. We were a cohesive unit of brotherhood, man, that was rarely found. And that's what we're trying to get this group back to being. And they're on their way to that, man. But, you know, I told them, man, you got to really be real family. If you're only a team, that's cool until you run into a real family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it was special, man. Still love all those guys to this day, man, and cherish those moments we had, man. Okay,
that's cool, man. Look, what was one of your most memorable moments in high school?
Oh man, so many big games, man. But since it's beat Neville week, man, let's talk about the Neville games, man. And I actually tore my knee up my sophomore year against Neville. And man, was really almost a career-ending injury. Wasn't really supposed to be back for 2 years, but I ended up fighting back and coming back the next year. And so the highlight, man, was probably that 89 game against Neville, man. Ended up coming back against Neville, had 2 interceptions in that game. We beat Neville here that year, 35-7. And then went to Monroe 2 weeks later and played them in the first round of the playoffs and beat them again. So that was a big night, man. But I mean, man, the wars with the Washitals, man, when Glenn Ellis and Connie Ray Wilson and all those guys is over there, Neville was stacked in, man. Even the Bastrop games then, bro, was like they would knock down, drag out. West Monroe hadn't quite emerged yet into what they are, but they had some individual players like the Sean Kings who went to the league and played for Carolina Panthers for a while. So everybody had talent, man, and so just playing in 2-5A period every week, it was a battle every week, and man, I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I've got a Neville moment. My junior year, man, they every paper had us losing this game.
Yeah.
You know, because we lost to them my sophomore year in the fourth quarter. It's always a dog fight.
Yeah.
So that next year we lost everybody. We lost a lot of people off the team. So they like, wrestling's gonna lose this game. Well, we get in there, man. I rushed for 150 something.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
2 big touchdowns, and put us in the lead each touchdown. And man, that was one of the best games, best feelings ever.
Yeah.
Just because every paper had us losing.
Yeah, man. And that, and like I said earlier, man, when it's Neville, you can put the newspaper down. You don't worry about what the podcast said. Don't worry about what the polls say. You will get the best effort, and after becoming an adult, man, and even having at McNeese, when I played at McNeese, having some teammates that were from Neville, they feel the same way. The mutual respect was there, but you knew it was going to be a war. You knew both cities were going to show up and the stands were going to be packed, and you just knew it was going to be a dogfight, man. And so I'm hoping tonight. I hope we don't have to be in a full dogfight tonight, man. I'm telling the Bearcats that I believe if we show up from play number 1 and take care of business, we should be able to put it to bed, man. But it's Neville, so it is what it is.
It's Neville, y'all. It's Neville. Oh man, before I can't get out of here without asking, was Miss Miller a part of the faculty?
Absolutely, man. She was kind of on the end of her tenure, I think. But yeah, man, and man, I said that to my mother yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff from the community standpoint that seems to be missing with the program now. And I actually said that. I think a lot of it left the building when Miss Miller left the building. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
She was a jewel, man, who made sure that the Bearcat players were always represented and always taken care of, man, and always had the spirit of the community behind us. And so I don't know, she's kind of hard to replace, man, but we got to get it from something. Maybe it's a collective effort.
It's got to be.
But we got to get it, man. We got to get this thing. And what I'm saying is, man, we shouldn't have to sit around and wait for these kids to win a state championship to get this thing back rolling, man. I coached on the staff down in South Louisiana at St. Amant High School for years, man. St. Amant has never won a state championship in the sport of football. They've never even been past the quarterfinals ever in their program history. But man, that stadium is packed and sold out every single week. Other people in the state are not sitting around waiting. Oh, we're gonna win the state championship. Then I want to jump in, man. It's Ruston, man. It's family, so let's just come out. Let's make it a big family affair, man. Let's beat Neville tonight, and then let's run. Like I told these guys, the road to a state championship goes around nobody. It goes directly through the chest of everybody on your schedule. That's the way it is. And so, starting with Neville tonight, we got to walk it out, man. But I would love to see the community there with us, man. I have to say to the Ruston community, man, down in Lafayette last week, and let me take just a moment to put in perspective what going into Lafayette and beating LCA was last week. Because I also work with the Lafayette Christian Academy program, for people that don't know. That program has played in 5 straight state championships. They were a snap punt over the punter's head in the end zone away from being 5 times straight state champions. Yeah. So for our old heads out there, Ruston going into Lafayette and winning last year was like an odd day. That's like marching into New Orleans and knocking off John Curtis. Or marching into Shreveport and knocking off the Angels. Right. That's what last week was, man, to just tell you what our team is accomplishing. But I look in the stands and I'm like, man, we here trying to knock off a historic, really the top program in the state of Louisiana right now. We went in there to challenge last week, and I'm looking in the stands. Thank y'all for the people that did show up. So I'm not knocking you guys and ladies, but I am knocking the fact that when I look up there and the band is half of what we got in the stands for that type of game, I'm saying, come on, Ruston, I know we can do better.
Oh, we definitely can do better, man. I knew that I wasn't gonna make that game, but I am not planning on missing. None.
And I mean, I know people work, man. Some people I had some people hit me up and was like, man, I can't get off, or I'm getting off too late. It'll be, even if I leave from work, I get that. I understand that. Hopefully we'll get back to that day and time like it used to be where they shut the city down. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't realize, man, there was a time period when they don't have to worry about getting off work for a Bearcat game. They would shut it down. Yeah. But I know we're not there right now, so I respect, man. People got to go take care of their families and stuff, whatever. But there's a lot of people. They weren't working. They weren't doing none of that. They just not supporting the program, man. And you know, because I've heard some of the complaints and people talking about why they're not supporting the program. And I'm saying, because a lot of people always want to reference like when we were there and stuff or whatever. And what I want the community to know is the same complaints y'all have about coaches and stuff now, whatever. A lot of that stuff we were dealing with, even with the Chick Childresses and people like
even
that.
With the championship.
We were dealing with that. We just put the program in winning before that.
And that was my focus for now.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the excuses being all the coaches this, the coaches that.
Yeah.
It's the kids.
Yeah, come on, man.
Let's go support the kids.
Yeah, it's about the kids. And what I'm saying, I'm going one better than that. You got a pretty doggone good coaching staff. I'm not saying perfect, you know what I'm saying? Because when I came in last year, like I said, there were some conversations we had to have to get on the same page. So I'm definitely not saying perfect. I'm not knocking anybody's personal experience that they or their kid may have had. But I'm saying, man, I've been involved with the game of football for 40 plus years. I've been a lot of different places, a lot of different programs. And I'm telling you, the staff that we got over there is top notch. They're one of the best that I've ever kind of been involved with, man, or whatever. Like I said, not perfect. I know they're growing some other things, but what I can tell you is they don't shy away from the concerns of the community. They hear what's being said, and when it's a valid thing, they try to address it. And for me, that's all you can ask a person to do, man. You know, now some people are just impatient. They don't think it's addressed fast enough in the time period that they want to see it addressed. Right. But what I'm telling you all is they're not ignoring any of it, man. But when you're trying to go out and win football games, you have to do things that it's a process, man. And sometimes it takes time, but it's not because they're sitting here intentionally saying, we don't care about what the community thinks or feels or whatever. We're not doing any of that. One of the big complaints was they didn't throw the ball enough or whatever. And so let me set that straight for a lot of people, because there was a lot of people there. You see that we did start trying to throw the ball a lot more this year, but here's what Coach Ball said, because a lot of people have given him a bad rap on that, saying that he was closed-minded to throwing the ball and he absolutely refused to run the ball. And I can tell you again, from personal experience, that's not true. What Coach Ball said to his other players and his coaches was, we're not going to be forcing things, doing things that we're not good at. Yeah. So if y'all want to throw the ball, I suggest that y'all work on it. I suggest y'all get good at it, because if we're not good at it, we're not doing it. And so, again, from a coaching standpoint, how can you fault a coach from saying, look, man, because his thing is, man, Coach Ball has really pushed his chips into the table. Okay. The schedule that and look, man, he's the athletic director. Yeah. He booked this schedule himself. Yeah. Nobody else scheduled this schedule and gave it to him. He pushed his chips into the table and said, it's pretty much win or go home for me, man. I'm putting all my chips on the table. We either going to make this program what it need to be, or I may not be here. Yeah. But I'm going all in, man. And I respect it. You know, the story is still being written, but I respect it, man. And like I said, I just think it's time for people, man, whatever personal issues you got, man, put the kids first and foremost. Let's go support the kids, because the coaches would like to support, but they can live without it if they have to. Exactly. But these kids can't live without it. They need it, man. So let's get out there and give it to them.
They definitely want it, man, y'all. We got to support those kids. Look, I like to ask my guests, what's up with the world?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Well, man, I think, man, the start with the bad first, man. I think the world has gotten way too selfish, man. Mm-hmm. And, you know, me being in ministry for 17 years, man, I understand that being selfish is not a trait of God, man. And right now, everybody's me, my house, my roof, my family. They don't see beyond that. And unfortunately, man, we all intertwined in this thing together. So anytime, whether you have a federal government, whether you have the church, whether you have a school system, anytime you have people making decisions from a selfish point of view and they're not considering everybody involved, we're going to have problems with that. Now, good thing about it is the clock hadn't struck zero yet. Yeah. So we got time, man, to put the type of leadership in place. And those of us, man, that's why I commend you on what you're doing, you know, the work that I try to do. We're going to have to flip the field position, so to speak, on the leadership. Yeah. We're not going to be able to sit around and just complain about current leadership anymore. If we're not satisfied with current leadership, we have to become the leadership. We have to establish the system that we think is flawed, instead of just saying it's flawed. We all know it's flawed. Yeah. So there's no need of us spending more time talking about how flawed it is. Yeah. What are we actually going to actively do about it? When I got the calls about Ruston High School's program not being where it needs to be and something needs to be done about it, I didn't call somebody else. Mm-hmm. I waited for the opportunity that I could come back home and engage myself And that's what I did, you know. And so from everything, man, like I said, whether it's education, whether it's the church, whether it's government, you know, whatever, we need to make sure that we understand that everybody deserves to be blessed, to be favored, and to have a good life, man. So if we're making decisions on anybody's behalf, we need to make it with that in mind. And if we see people in charge that are not making those decisions, then we need to get them out of there and we need to replace them. We need to do it ourselves.
We gotta do what we gotta do, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let me get a quote of the day, man, or give the people some words to.
Man, I give you all a quote that I've given the team, man, and it goes to a lot of people ask me, man, are you just over there talking to the team about winning, man? And I'm saying, yeah, I am talking to them about winning, man. But what I tell the team is what I tell everybody else. Your results in your life can't be bigger than the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? So if you want things to be bigger for you and around you, you have to become a bigger and a better person. I tell the young men over there, y'all can't be a better football team than you are young men.
Yeah.
So we over there talking about how to think, your mindset, your perspective, how you react and respond to things. We teaching them new ways to deal with the same problem, but I'm giving you new tools so that you know how to deal with it. So, you know, so I just want everybody to take that in accountability. Man, we got to stop looking out the window pointing fingers. We got to look in the mirror, and I need everybody to be accountable for themselves. And I think that makes a better world, man. If everybody intentionally says, I'm going to make sure I become an individual better person, and everybody had that mindset, then the world can't help but to get better.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Exactly. Well, I got one is always the same. It's a blessing to be a blessing.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's a blessing to be a blessing. Shout outs. You have any shout outs?
Man, like I said, just one more time, man. Shout out to the Ruston Bearcats. Shout out to Coach Ball and his staff, man. And let's go out here, man, and get a big victory tonight, man, and keep it moving. Because we got a lot more work to do.
Got a lot of work.
Yes, indeed.
Got a lot of work to do. Look, that's it for today's episode of PHAT'S Barbershop Club, man. I thank y'all for listening. I thank you for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
Look, the mic's always hot, man.
Appreciate it, man. Whenever
you want to step in,
I appreciate
hit
you,
me
man.
up and let me know we can get it going.
Appreciate
man.
it, man.
Follow PHAT'S Barbershop Club on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on TikTok. I'm keeping up with the times, y'all. I'm trying to make everything work.
I need to do that myself.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. And don't forget about the giveaway that we're going to do when we get 1,000 followers. Y'all get us up to 1K. That's all I'm going to shout for us now is just, just trust the process. Trust the process. Join us next time on What's Up, Rustin', which would be 6 o'clock pregame show.
That's dope.
Right outside the Children's Field House.
Yes, indeed, man.
It's
time to get it. That point, it'd be time to get it, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all catch up with us, and I'm gonna give y'all some in-game updates, halftime update, and I'm gonna grab one of those players after the game and get an interview.
That's good.
So y'all be prepared for that. Got anything before we get out of here?
We just want to tell y'all, Rustin, man, everybody out there, be blessed, man, be safe. Praying that God blesses you all, man, and put much favor upon this city, man. Just know and understand, even though I still live in Baton Rouge, I'm always praying for Rustin. I'm always planning and preparing to help make Rustin a better place, man. So love y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Oh, that's on, man.
What's up, Rustin'? It's Football Friday.
What's up, Rustin? Thank you for listening to my Daddy Fat on PHAT'S Barbershop Club.